All right, guys, we made it all the way to Module 6, and this one is a doozy. It's all about meditation.
Woo!
Yes, and again, I am bringing in the experts who know more than I do and have different perspectives than I do on certain topics, and meditation is the perfect module to introduce my friend Mary Lou Rodriguez. Hi, Mary Lou.
Hi, Rachel.
I'm so happy you're here.
Excited. Thank you for having me here. Yes.
Spark Blue.
Of course, I'm a spark girl.
Heck yeah. Well, Mary Lou is an incredible hypnotherapist, and we're going to have a whole other segment on hypnotherapy because I think it's so incredible and so amazing. But it's also somewhat related and very similar to meditation, yeah?
Very similar.
So I think you know so much about this.
I believe I do, yeah. So I don't know where you want me to get started.
So for those of you who are seasoned meditators, still listen into this because I think there's so much insightful information that you're going to get out of this. For those of you who have just started meditating and you might have some unsure emotions or you're not sure if you're good at it, definitely listen into this because we have very different, I think, perspectives of how we got into meditation. Yep. So I'm going to actually, let's start by asking you, how did you learn about meditation? Where did it come into your life? And how do you feel it supported you to where you're at today?
Okay, great questions. So I started meditating almost 4 years ago, and I found meditation through hypnosis. I went to see a hypnotherapist who worked her magic on me, and I didn't necessarily understand the brain at the time, but I just went off and thrived, and I thought, I think there's more to this than I understand. And I was listening to Hay House. And
I love Hay House.
I know, they're great. And the commercial for, or I don't know what you call it, for Joe Dispenza came on there and he was offering a webinar called Making the Mind Matter. And I thought, and it was all about understanding the brain and meditation. And I thought, okay, so that was my first introduction to...
I love it. And these guys are familiar with Joe Dispenza because in Module 3, we shared a video with him being interviewed. So
yay!
they've already been the seed has been planted to Dr. Joe.
Yes. So I started practicing his style of meditation. And his style of meditation, so the way that Dr. Joe Dispenza teaches is that he helps you to understand the brain so that you can understand what you're doing and why you're doing it in meditation. And so meditation, he believes, and I love Joe Dispenza. He's my spiritual mentor, even though he doesn't know that. But he believes you live in two states of being. Either you live in survival or you live in creation. And when you're living in survival, well, I'm sure you have already talked about that.
Keep going. This is great.
Well, so meditation is your way into changing your life. And meditation is, so let me just backtrack a little bit. And I have to talk about the subconscious mind because it helps to for people to understand how meditation makes a difference. But so the subconscious mind, from the time that you're born till 9, now their studies vary, we live in our subconscious mind. And what that means is that everything that we've ever heard, everything that we were ever told, everything that we were exposed to during that time was recorded into our beautiful subconscious minds. And it was programmed. So if we heard that big boys don't cry, or little girls are to be seen and not heard, or money doesn't grow on trees, or money is the root of all evil, we believe that to be true. We didn't know any different. Yeah. And that was recorded into our beautiful subconscious minds. And that lays a foundation for who we become as we grow older. So meditation, besides hypnosis, is one of the most beautiful tools that we can use to reprogram our minds.
I love it. And I believe that to the core of my soul because I've lived that. And meditation has been one of the most powerful allies in reprogramming the subconscious mind. And we've talked a little bit about what reprogramming the mind is in earlier modules and how important meditation is in that. This is, you have to. And if you follow or read any autobiographies of any highly successful people, they all meditate. It's no coincidence. So whether you are a spiritual person or you're more of a scientific-y, which is not a word, but I'm making it up, more science-based person, there's so much just evidence that meditation is so important for so many different facets of your physical and your mental well-being.
Yes, so true, and I love it so much. And meditation is one of the ways that you can get out of your conscious mind and go into creation mode through your subconscious mind. Yes. So the goal is to bypass essentially the conscious mind, the analytical mind, and move into the subconscious mind. And so should we dive into the way that meditation works?
Yeah, let's do it. Okay. Let's do it. This is so exciting. This is one of my favorite topics.
I am a little bit nervous, but I'm really excited to be here and to share this beautiful knowledge, because meditation is something that has changed my life. And I do practice it regularly. And Rachel and I will probably talk a little bit more about when we don't practice and what that looks like in our lives.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. It's like when you stop showering and all of a sudden you smell funny. And you realize, oh, that's right, I stopped showering.
Exactly.
It's the same thing with meditation. Like when my life starts to feel off and I feel out of alignment, it's almost always because my meditation practice has taken a back seat.
It's the truth. It's the truth. It's one of the first things that I look at, like, why am I having such a bad day?
Yeah.
And then I think about my morning ritual, and I was running late, and I didn't meditate, and it really does affect my alignment.
So why does meditation work? Or what is the principles around why people should actually listen and try this?
So we understand that meditation is a way to bypass the conscious mind and to get into the subconscious mind, where 95% of our programming is located. And meditation, essentially, now different people have different styles of meditation. I practice a pretty, I don't know how you want to word it, intense type of meditation, because I do some deep breathing before I go into meditation. And everybody can practice meditation differently.
There's so many different ways. And we'll talk about the different ways as well, the different types of meditation practices. But continue.
Yes. So the way that meditation works is once you start to essentially get into trance, and I know that a lot of people don't use that word, but that's what you're doing. You're slowing down your brain waves from beta, which is what Rachel and I are operating in now. We slow down our brain waves to alpha and to theta brainwave state. And when we're in alpha or theta brainwave state, we're in creation. It's the gateway to our subconscious mind, where we can reprogram all those beliefs that no longer serve us, where we can get rid of those habits that no longer serve us, and when we can reprogram our mind so that we can be limitless.
I hope you're paying attention to this, guys. I get if we've been talking a lot about belief systems and how to the tips and the tricks to rewiring it.
Yeah.
And this is the biggest component of it. I truly believe that. And thank you for explaining it in a way that I think people who fall more on the science-based belief system, they can understand it, because it really is just about your brain waves, getting into that state.
Right. I speak in this language so much, so I forget that, I use brain waves. I don't even realize it. But the truth is that when we are deeply relaxed and we're in that sweet spot of the present moment, we create.
So do you think it matters how long people meditate? So if somebody is new to meditation and they're having a hard time maybe quieting the mind, and we'll give some tips in just a second on how you can do that better. But do you think does it matter if you can spend 2-3 hours a day meditating?
I think the most important thing for people who want to create the habit is consistency. So if that means meditating 3 times a week for 5 minutes, then by all means do that. Consistency is the key to creating a new habit. And so for me, it doesn't matter how long I meditate. I was just sitting back listening to you and Janelle speaking, and I was in the kitchen, and I just took 2 minutes to just sit there and quiet my mind. And I felt so good afterwards. So it's what works for you. If you don't want to meditate for 45 minutes, which I strive to do, and I don't always accomplish that, then I think 2 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever you can get into your schedule.
It's kind of like working out.
Yes.
And I know when I first started meditating, I had a really hard time. I had a goal, and I usually set pretty lofty goals for myself that I was like, I'm going to meditate for 30 minutes a day because that's what I feel like everybody is doing.
Yeah.
And I had a hard time because I had never really done it before, quieting all of the thoughts, the chaos that is up there. And so I realized quickly that if I'm going to feel successful and not quit on this, then I need to set more realistic goals.
Beautiful.
And so 5 minutes for me, and just a few times a week. And I noticed in a very short amount of time that I started to feel a lot better with just 5 minutes. And so then, just like working out, when you start seeing results and you're like, oh, I'm starting to look sleek over here, you start investing more time. And so you're like, okay, well, now I'm going to do 10 minutes.
That's right. That's right. So meditation is my superpower. And I meditate for different reasons in the morning. So sometimes it's about, if I'm going to do a performance or a session on the stage at Spark, it's about it's about that. If I want to just have a good day, it's about creating in my mind what my day already looks like. If it's about, I'm kind of feeling down in the dumps or not as tired, it's about feeling energized. So I set an intention for my meditation and what I'm trying to accomplish. And I don't dictate a time. I just emerge from a meditation when it feels right. But the beautiful part about when our brain waves are slowed down and we're reprogramming our mind, and this is what's so powerful, and you know this too, is that what our brain is seeing in our mind as we meditate, our brain believes it to be true. So our brain doesn't know the difference between what's happening in our brain versus what's happening in the real world. And you know how powerful that is.
It's crazy.
You know how powerful that is. And so when I'm in meditation, I'm in creation mode. So I'm creating my day, I'm creating my life, I'm creating whatever it is that I set the intention for.
I love that. So it's not just about clearing out the thoughts that you don't want. It's about being very intentional with what you want to be planted in there. And I love that you said that you put an intention out there before you meditate. And this is actually when I first was looking for like my contribution to the world, like what my bigger purpose is.
Yeah.
It was when I first started meditating, and I went into a meditation and just said, I'm just looking for a little guidance, and I want to know what I'm supposed to be doing. And during this meditation is when I got the download that I should do an event for women.
Oh my gosh.
And that it should be called Spark.
Yes.
It's bananas, but I really feel like when people are praying, they're talking to God, the universe, source energy.
Yes.
And the universe, God, is always trying to communicate back to us. And if you don't quiet the noise in your head so you can actually listen, you're going to miss out on all of the signs and the downloads. And like meditation it's basically opening a channel between you to talk with source.
That's right.
You to talk with God.
That's right. That's right. And all of my best ideas have come from meditation. All of my downloads, purpose, ideas, programs, just come from when I'm in meditation.
So keep a journal next to you.
Absolutely. I wish I had my Spark journal because I take it with me everywhere I go. I do. It's in my purse.
I love it.
But yeah, I keep a journal so that when I emerge from meditation, I'm writing down what I saw.
And it's like magical stuff. This happens to me all the time as well.
It's so inspiring and so empowering.
So guys, if you're listening to this and you're like, I wish I could meditate like that. I'm not a good meditator. In fact, I've had people that I know in my life who said that I can't meditate because I have ADHD.
Okay.
And because their brain is going so many different ways. I promise you that you can meditate.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's such a practice. And that's why they call it a meditation practice.
That's right.
Like you could be doing this for years and still sometimes struggle with it. It's totally normal. It's like if you stop working out, then you have to learn, you have to figure out how heavy of a weight you can lift, etc.
Yeah, and I think for people who are challenged with staying focused, a guided meditation because it's hard for you to be thinking about, what you need to do for dinner when you're on this beautiful journey.
I'm so glad that you mentioned that. In fact, even I've been meditating now for 3 years, and I still almost always start. So when I meditate, I'll start with a guided meditation where somebody's like walking you through what you should think, what you should be focusing on. It's usually your breath. And then I'll do like maybe a 10 to 15 minute guided, and then I'll move into more of just a focused, like no voices speaking to me type of meditation. And sometimes it's just with nature sounds in the background, or music, or I listen to sometimes like chanting is a form of meditation. There's so many, but you really just start with what works best for you. But for guided meditations, we've been using, in Spark School, recommending Insight Timer, which is one of many apps.
Beautiful. And Rachel has a beautiful meditation.
I do, and I've been actually feeling called to record some more, so we'll see what comes out of that.
I love that. I love that.
How does meditation differ from hypnotherapy?
Yeah, so it's very, very similar. The biggest difference is that when a client comes to see me, they don't always understand the unconscious programming. So through exercises that we do together, I can figure out where their blocks are, so we can target it. We can target the blocks really quickly. But let me just back up. With hypnosis, I take you through a series of exercises to relax the mind and the body at the same time. And then I'm able to address specifically what their blocks are, because sometimes people don't know that they heard money is the root of all evil, and that it was programmed into their mind. And so therefore they have limited means as an adult and can't surpass a certain amount of income. They don't understand that. So with hypnotherapy, I'm able to just address those issues quickly.
Yeah, and I totally feel that, because you've been my hypnotherapist now for the last year, and
I'm honored.
It's so beautiful. And I was one of those people who was very skeptical about hypnotherapy.
True.
I remember seeing somebody get hypnotized at like a county fair, and making people like walk like a chicken, act like, dress like a woman if it was a man. But I really do feel that when I get hypnotized, I feel like you get me into just a deep meditative state.
Yep.
And then you directly speak to my subconscious mind.
Yep.
And you do so by planting affirmations and suggestions on things that we came up with together beforehand. So if we did this through my book proposal writing process, that all of the thoughts that I wanted to believe, we wrote those down. You got me into a deep meditative state, and then you spoke those words to me.
That's right.
And it is one of the most powerful tools I've ever experienced. So if you are having a hard time with meditation, it's actually a really good idea, I feel, to go see a hypnotherapist, because if you can't get yourself into a meditative state,
I can do it.
Yeah, they're skilled at bringing people to that point if you can't do it yourself. So
it really is a gift. Well, first of all, I love working with you so much. It's so much fun, because the type of work we do together is creation.
It's manifesting. It's like, what do we want this life to look like? What do I want? It's so much fun.
It's awesome.
And I feel like I feel every time we have a session together, I feel like I get so many more ideas and so much more clarity around like projects that I have going on. So I can't recommend hypnotherapy enough. If you're not in Portland and you can't go see Mary Lou, then I'm sure there's somebody near you.
And I do Zoom.
Oh, that's right. You can do Zoom.
Yes.
That's fantastic. We're also in works of talking about doing an entire course on hypnotherapy, where you're going to be having some pre-recorded stuff. So so exciting. Guys, if you get stuck on meditation at all, please do not give up. We're going to give some recommended beginners meditations within the body of this module, as well as some meditations that are a little bit deeper. Some maybe that are led by Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Beautiful.
That are very, very powerful. And keep going. Like, this is such a huge part of rewiring and reprogramming your mind that it cannot be overlooked.
Every amazing person that I know in the world, friends, healers, spiritual leaders, meditation is a part of their practice.
Yeah. In fact, I challenge you, find one very successful and happy person, because sometimes success doesn't equal happiness.
That's true.
Find somebody who doesn't meditate, and I will give you $1. Up to $100. 100 people. I'm capping it. I honestly think you're going to be hard pressed to find anybody.
Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah.
it's that. I mean, I feel like if we're going to fast forward time 20 years from now, they're going to be teaching meditation in kindergarten.
Oh, I'm sure.
They're doing this in some countries already.
Right.
But I'm talking about like the United States.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be part of
Yeah.
the majority of the population's practice, because more and more people are learning the powers of meditation.
Yeah.
And like you can be on the cusp of all of this if you start today.
That's right. And Rachel and I have talked about how when we don't meditate, what our days can look like.
It's so crazy, because once you learn how to do this, you're like, why would I ever stop?
Yeah.
But then as life gets busy, and all of a sudden, like for me, I'm like, I'm traveling, I've got kids stuff, I've got just life stuff, that if I need to carve out an extra 10 minutes out of my day so I can do more things, sometimes meditation will fall to the wayside, because I feel like I've got this.
That's right.
And then next thing you know, my life is feeling chaotic. Yeah. The ideas aren't coming. I'm feeling blocks. I'm feeling stuck.
Yes.
We talked about this over lunch the other day, that, I mean, because you recently went through a period where you felt out of alignment.
Completely. I probably looked out of alignment. I looked chaotic.
You weren't yourself.
I wasn't myself. I felt rushed. I felt disorganized. I felt like the world was getting in my way. I was annoyed by things that would normally not annoy me. And I was like, who is this person? And what's going on? And so it wasn't hard for me to figure out that I wasn't meditating.
But some people I think are stuck in those states of being frequently. So, I mean, if you're listening to this, you're like, gosh, I always feel like I'm rushed and the world is like out to get me, and I always feel chaotic. And maybe this is the key. I mean, like, come on now, let's be real. This might be the key to unlocking all of that and releasing it.
Yeah, the external world doesn't affect me when I'm internally aligned.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Makes total sense. Makes total sense.
So whatever's going on in the outside world, if I'm aligned and connected, I can handle it. I know that in the bigger picture, it's not that big of a deal and it's going to be okay. But when I am not in alignment and I am not meditating, fear can become a big part of my life. So meditation is it's my superpower. It's something that I teach all of my clients. And when I teach my clients meditation, I also teach them a little bit of self-hypnosis and visualization. We can talk about that later. But if we're already meditating, if our brainwaves are already slowed down, why not make it as freaking powerful as we possibly can?
Yeah. I love that because visualization, we've talked about this before in some earlier modules, that visualization, I mean, Janelle was saying like that's how she brings up her vibration.
Yes.
And she visualizes what she wants and really harnesses into the feelings of what that feels like. Mm-hmm. Being in a meditative state, just like you said, like when you're visualizing in your brain what you want, how you want to feel, your brain does not know the difference between that what's happening in your mind and what's happening in front of you.
Yes.
And that can be an entirely other way and powerful way of manifesting.
It's beautiful. And I'm glad you said the feeling because when we're in meditation, when I'm in meditation and they don't, if it's a guided meditation, I make sure to tap into the feeling. Like I'm opening up my heart and I am falling in love with what I'm seeing in my beautiful mind because the feeling is what takes us there.
Yes. Ugh. Let's go meditate, everybody. Right now. End this module. Go meditate. Mary Lou, your superpower is meditation. All of you guys can have this exact same superpower. It just does not belong with one person. We all have this gift inside of us. We all have the ability to clear our brain, to clear our mind, and plant the seeds and the life that you want in there. And meditation truly is the key to getting that. So,
we are both examples of that.
Walking examples.
Yep.
I've been meditating for 3 years now. And if you would have known me 3 years ago, you would say, who is this woman right in front of you living this amazing life?
Love it.
I love you, sister.
I love you too.
All right, guys, do the meditation this week. Let us know how it goes inside of the Facebook group. And if you have any questions, please reach out to hello@wearespark.us. Thank you.